Hey family, this is Timalyn Bowens, America's favorite EA, and in today's video, I am going to walk you through how to fill out Form W4 for the tax year 2024. Okay, tax season is almost up. A lot of you are a little upset because you didn't get a refund due to your withholding being off. So last year we used Wednesday Adams. This year we're going to use our dear friend Maximilian Goof. So when you pull out the form, what you want to do is make sure that you have your name exactly the way that it shows up on your social security card. Okay. So in this example, we have Maximilian. He has no middle initial, last name Goof, and then social security number 0519995089. All right. Now, for the address, we have 8750 Disney Drive. And of course, he lives in Spoonerville, California, zip code 78592. We know that he is going to be single because our friend here is only 14 years old, right? Now, if you are married filing jointly, this video is not for you. If you are head of household, which means you are single, but you provide more than half of the upkeep for a child or another dependent adult, this video is not for you. But if you are married filing separately, these same instructions are going to apply. So for Max, we're going to check this box here that says single or married filing separately. For the next steps, which are 2 through 4, you only fill them out if they apply to you. So for step 2, that's for somebody that has multiple jobs, or if we're looking at married filing jointly, they work and their spouse works. Okay, so we know that does not apply to Max, but I will show you an example in a little bit what it would look like if he worked 2 jobs. Okay. Step 3, this is how you claim dependents. Max is 14, so we know he doesn't have any dependents. For this first example, I'm gonna skip this part because it doesn't apply. For step 4, if he has additional income, let's say if he had dividend income or he had Social Security income, something that wouldn't have taxes withheld, we would want to put the amount that he was going to have for the entire year right here in 4A. We know that doesn't apply for him or apply to him. So for this example, this would be 0. And then deductions, he's not going to have more than the standard deduction. So again, we're going to put 0 right here and we want no extra withholding. If you are like Max and you don't have any dependents, you don't want additional withholding, you are going to be under the standard deduction for the tax year and you don't have another source of income, you sign and date this and you are done. So just your information, check this box, signature, and off to HR it goes. Okay? Now, that's not going to be the majority of you, so let's look at a couple of examples. So we have Max still single, but let's say this time he has his job throughout the school year, but he also works as a camp counselor during the summer. So that is going to make him have multiple jobs that we need to account for. The reason we need to account for this is because when Max turns in his W4 at his main job during the school year, it's not going to take into consideration the income he makes from his second job. This is what trips up a lot of taxpayers and it makes them be under withheld, which results in owing at tax time. So you can use the W4 estimator by going to this website, or we can use the worksheet provided or the table. So I like to use the table. This is the worksheet I was referring to. I usually skip this and I will show you why. This is why we learned algebra, folks, to know how to fill out our W4. So you see this first table is married filing jointly or qualifying surviving spouse. We're going to skip that and go here to single or married filing jointly. So let's say that Max's job that he works throughout the year makes $15,000. So that's going to be his higher paying job. Okay. So we're going to use the columns. Now, for his summer job, he doesn't make quite as much. He makes about $2,500, right? So that's still this column. And then we're going to go over corresponding row. So Max needs an additional $870 withheld from his check to make sure that he doesn't owe at the end of the year. And let me reemphasize why. His first job, if he's making $15,000, right? That is going to start withholding after the standard deduction. So all of that 15,000 is not going to be taxable. Roughly like under 1,000 of it is, right? But then when we add this additional money, the 2,500 is way under the standard deduction, so that job won't withhold anything, when in all reality, it needs to hold 870. So this is what we do. We take this number, the 870, and if we were using the worksheet, we would put it here. But let me just do it so you can see what it looks like. Then we're going to look at the number of pay periods per year for the highest paying job. Let's say Max didn't consider doing this until the end of the summer, so he only has 10 pay periods left. So if we have 10 pay periods left, we're going to take that 870 divided by this 10, and we have $87. This is how much Max needs to have withheld for the remainder of the year from his check. Now, assuming that Max went more than halfway throughout the year before thinking of this, his summer job is probably already over, so he doesn't have the option to withhold from there. But for you, let's say that you're making more money. So you're making between 50,000 and 59,999, and your side job is 15,000. All right? So yours would be this $2,220. Dividing it by 10 again, so we're looking at $222. You can choose which job you have that withheld from right here, right? So you could do the 222 from your highest paying job, or you could say, hey, I want 111 from one job and 111 from the other one. You just need to make sure that you factor in both jobs and that that total amount is accounted for before you turn in your W-2, so you don't owe at the end of the year. So let's look at another quick example, because I have folks that maybe they do really good in the stock market or with their investments, or maybe they just still, or it's time for them, I should say, to receive Social Security. So maybe you have a part time job and you receive Social Security income. If that is the situation for you, yes, you could figure out what you need to be withheld each additional pay or additional withholding for each pay period, or right here. And again, this is if you have Social Security income in addition to your wages, you would put whatever the amount of Social Security is that you're receiving. So if you're receiving $32,000, you would want to put that right here. Okay. Now, with that, you might be like, well, if I have Social Security income, that's not taxable. Yes, it actually is if you're still working a W-2 job and making over a certain amount because of provisional income. So you would put the 32 here. Now, no matter what your situation is, make sure that you sign it, date it, get it to HR ASAP. Your new W-4 for the tax year is due on February 15th. However, we're past that. You can still update your W-4 to ensure that you do not owe for the next year. If you find yourself owing the IRS right now and you just can't seem to pay it all right now, it's just an effect that it keeps snowballing, getting worse. I would love to see if you're a good fit to work with me at Bowens Tax Solutions. You can book your no obligation call at www.bowenstaxsolutions.com. Now, in my business, we do typically work with taxpayers that owe the IRS $100,000 or more, but there's nothing wrong with booking the call to see if you are a good fit to work with us at Bowens Tax Solutions. If you have any questions at all, let me know in the comments. I look forward to helping you.